Good evening. It looks like I'm back again to talk about why I enjoy a feature that apparently everyone else hates. So it's pretty clear that a lot of people aren't very happy with the new corrosion effect in Floor 11, and though I can't speak for them since I actually really enjoyed it, I can see why some may dislike it. But let's just ignore the fact that corrosion literally exists only to sell Kokomi, and pretend that miHoYo actually wants to improve their game. So I'm just gonna share some of my thoughts on the current Spiral Abyss and the purpose of Abyss as a whole. From what I can tell, the Abyss has basically just been the place to push the meta towards whatever characters are featured at the time. But I think the way recent Abyssal Moons did this was just kinda boring. 60% increased Pyro and Cryo damage for Yoimiya and Ayaka, 300% increased swirl damage for Kazuha, 75% increased physical damage for Eula. And though running a DPS Sucrose was fun for a bit, these effects just had you doing the same thing you've always done, but with bigger numbers. There was also the Slowing Water and Engulfing Storm Abyss, but I think we can just agree that no one liked that. So coming back to why I like the addition of Corrosion. It still pushes the meta towards the event characters, obviously, but it doesn't just inflate their numbers and make Abyss even easier for anyone who has them or similar characters. It actually adds a new challenge to deal with in combat, so instead of just Zhongli shield Unga Bunga left click until everything's dead, you might consider swapping that Zhongli back to Diona, just like the good old days. Some people complain that it forces you to build characters that you won't actually use outside of Abyss, but isn't that kind of the point? For example, I've never used Chongyun while exploring, but ever since the addition of Lectors and Heralds, everyone's been frothing over how useful he is, but only in Abyss. As far as I can tell, the whole point of Abyss is to force you to use characters that you usually wouldn't, and actually think outside the box when picking out your teams. Another thing with Corrosion I've seen people bring up is that you need a healer that can heal off-field characters, but just using Chi-Chi on one team and Diona and Bennett on the other worked perfectly fine for me. I didn't have to use Chi-Chi's normal attacks to heal my team, and I probably could have gone without either Diona or Bennett on the other half. As long as you're not just running straight into every enemy attack, you can still keep your supports alive even at 15% HP. I mean, everyone wanted a more skill-based Abyss where you actually have to dodge attacks more, right? Well, shields got nerfed and your characters are all 1 HP, so maybe it's time you finally start practicing those dodges. Anyway, moving on to floor 12. I don't really have much to say, it's just a basic DPS check, no weird effects, just really big health bars, which is exactly what it should be, in my opinion. Going back on what I said about Abyss forcing you to think outside the box, I think floor 12 should remain the place to put your absolute best teams to the test, which is why I hated the high and low tide in last Abyss. It would make you put unrealistic builds on your characters, and it ruined a lot of team rotations. And though I hate the fucking Lego arrays attack patterns and how it iframes half of my attacks, I think the Abyss itself is in a very good state at the moment, and the current features give me a lot of hope for future resets. Anyway, that's just what I think, so let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll be honest, I'm tired, I'm gonna go watch anime, bye.